I'm pissed.
I don't blame you. I'd be upset. Granted, I don't think I ever hear myself anyway.
You need two. Like this is one set. It goes into the laptop. This is another set. It goes into the mic.
All right, I'll try that eventually. That's not obnoxious having like there's no feedback.
No.
All right, well, let's fucking do this shit, huh? Get the notes. PD Platinums. It's good to have you here. Happy E-Ride 3 to 4 weeks. I'm going to keep the notes kind of vague so we don't say the same shit. You know if I'm missing anything else. There. We need anything else in those notes?
Let me see.
Go down in the DM. They go down.
Probably throw Benintendi in there.
For what? What's up?
What?
So we can probably throw
Benintendi slump.
Yeah, I was gonna put Benintendi in there. All right. I'll put that in after price. Good DMs. Good DMs. Not a ton of questions, but a lot of randomness. A lot of good content.
I also thought it was funny. that my quote tweet of Don Orsillo saying that he's doing a Red Sox game got more retweets and favorites than his own tweet saying that he was doing it.
Yeah, I saw that.
His
Like
guy,
we're at that.
he had 300 retweets, 1,700 favorites, and mine was almost 600 retweets and 2.6 thousand favorites.
It's at that point.
It's a little
It's
weird.
at that point.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, numbers are going up. Keep going up. I like the trend.
It's been a slow year for follows, though. But that was to be expected because
I give up.
Vine.
Oh, that's true. Didn't really even think of that.
Vine fucked me.
Right in the backside.
Yeah.
I'm huge on the idea of being able to just share other people's videos and it looks like your own. That is the best thing I think Twitter's ever done.
Yeah.
My buddy just like texted me the other day. He's like, "How are you? Like, I don't get how you're getting these videos out so fast." I'm like, "Let me tell you a little secret, buddy.
I'm not fucking
It's
doing
not
it.
mine. I'm not even fucking doing it. I'm letting the other people do work for me." All right, I should call the firehouse. Not today. Not today. Just let them all die, and then at like noon you can get back to your job.
Just take a little lunch break.
Just take a break. Have a long lunch break. Have 2 lunches. Fuck. All right, we good?
Yeah.
All right, let's fucking do this shit. Let's do
I'm
this.
so pissed that this doesn't work.
Hey, it's all good. We'll get there. Nice smooth hour, 50 to an hour. Crank this thing out. Do you know who to be getting for tomorrow or no?
I have no idea.
All right. All right.
All right.
Let's get it.
It's gonna be a struggle today. I feel like shit.
The best push through.
It's me.
The greats, the great ones. The ones that get 2.6K likes, they push through.
It's me.
Fucking that hot's gonna blow up one of these days.
All right.
This is not your normal Jared beginning of show here.
No,
Gonna need the energy, kid.
I can't hear myself. I don't feel good. I have a headache. And I'm annoyed that BJ bailed.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But how did that go down? Was he just like, I can't?
At like fucking 10 o'clock last night.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I was very tempted to promote it, and I was like, nope, we've learned our lesson there. Not doing that.
Yep. People be flaky. All right.
It's the flu game. This is your like 5th flu game.
I know. I get sick a lot. That's what happens.
I know.
What's up, and welcome back to the Section 10 podcast, episode 96, presented by Barstool Sports. It is the home of your 31-25 second place Boston Red Sox. My name is Jared Carabas, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here is definitely not Pete Blackburn, because he's not on the podcast again, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. Steve, how you doing?
What up, Section 10 in the building?
In the motherfucking building. And we were supposed to have Brian Johnson on today, but there was a scheduling conflict, being that he is a professional baseball player. And sometimes things come up. We tried to have him on Monday. That didn't work out. We tried to have him on Tuesday. No, yeah, we tried to have him on Tuesday. That didn't work out. But I mean, Steve, this is definitely not the first time that you expected a BJ and didn't get one.
I have no response to that, but yeah, I think for all of us, sometimes you expect BJ and then it just doesn't happen, and you have to adjust. You have to adjust on the fly, and it's something that none of us want to do, but we all have to do, just as grown ass men. So I don't know, man. We'll find a way to push through. PD Platinums, per usual, not here, so we'll find a way to push through that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's tough, and this is another flu game for you. Jared's had about. I said 5 at the beginning. It's probably closer to like 10 flu games at this point. I feel like 1 out of every 8 episodes or so, you're not feeling too great. So hey, the best push through. So you're gonna push through.
But I don't miss episodes. Never. All 96 episodes I've been right here for every single one of them. But yeah, I'm not feeling great. And I have a theory. About why I get sick so often. I think it's because I work from home. So it's like my body doesn't adjust to the outside world. So if I ever go outside, it's like my body's like, wait, what the fuck are all these germs and bacterias? And I just get sick really easily because my body doesn't know how to. My body hasn't built up an immunity to the things that exist outside of my house.
That's a good point, kid. I don't know if that's true, but at least in your head, that probably makes sense. That's probably the best idea or option, because you're for sure inside, what, 95% of your existence?
Yep.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to mention David Ortiz is coming back.
Is he though?
He's back, man. The one thing that I do like is Poppy comeback Twitter. I like it a lot, and I don't know why I like it, but I think it's because
always a party.
We say the same. It is a party, and like we say the same stuff every time, and we have the same debates every time, and like the same big accounts chime in every time. We got MLB tweeting stuff, Cut4 tweeting stuff, SI. Everybody has a take on it, and even if it means nothing,
why they chime in, right?
Well, for all like the interactions, right?
Of course. They don't actually believe that David Ortiz is coming back. They're just kind of like, MLB and Cut4, like those big accounts that kind of dive into like Poppy return Twitter. That's like, I don't know, if like your parents just show up at a high school party and they're like, yeah, motherfucker, let's go. It's just like, no. This party's for us. This is for the fans. You guys get the fuck out of here. Like, you don't deserve to be here because you're not actually excited that he's coming back because you want to see him play again. You're excited because you get to sell his jerseys and you get to, it's just, it's forced. With us, it's genuine.
They're not going through the real emotions. They're not getting the other side of it, which is like, wait a second, we might have to like prepare for a comeback here, which is legitimately our lives. That's our livelihood. If David Ortiz comes back, like our lives change. Forever. It does not change for, Cut4 guy. Cut4 guy is going to be completely fine. But dude, I mean, the second Pedro tweeted that, I was checking the DMs, and shout out to everybody for sending DMs into the Section 10 account. They're really good. Well, I'm at the end of this show. We're kind of flopping the episodes this week, but it'll work out. But yeah, just kind of checking the DMs in Section 10, and then I see the Pedro tweet come in like live. I was like, ooh. Like, it's like you stumbled upon some like little hidden gem. I thought I found $20 under the bed. I was like, whoa, wait a second here. And just kind of knowing the storm that was about to follow on Twitter. I love it. I love Poppy comeback Twitter. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So I was, humble brag, I was on Boston Sports Tonight at the time that it went down. And, we're talking about fucking, I don't know, like Erod's knee and shit like that. And then Tom Giles just stops and he's like, did you see this Pedro tweet, Carabas? And I was like, what? And then like they pull up the graphic and I was like, wait just a second. What are we talking about here? But I mean, so you have to look at it from both sides here. Pedro, very close to David Ortiz. Like, he would know something like this if Ortiz were talking about a comeback, if he were working out to be ready for a comeback. But at the same time, hasn't he cried wolf a little bit? on this. Like, I feel like Pedro's probably the only guy that has tweeted or referenced a comeback several times, but like nothing has ever come of it when he does tweet about it. Hello?
Oh, sorry. I was fixing my click preferences so you don't hear the clicks. I'll cut that out. But that's my biggest point here. And the biggest thing I keep coming back to is why would Pedro Martinez keep tweeting this stuff and keep referencing it when he's asked at these events if Papi hasn't even just hinted, even in like a Pedro, just like just in useless conversation, just little banter. At some point, he's had to have said it, right? And not that he's coming back, but just like, hey, what if I came back? Just something like that. Something as simple as like, hey, you know what?
Hey man, how crazy would it be if Big Papi came back at the middle of the All-Star break?
The people love me. I get the Papa Frita. I come back, get on the SNL. Like, if he actually came back, Pedro's the first one he would tell, right?
I mean, he'd probably tell me first.
Outside of like his dad. Outside of his dad, yeah, he'd obviously hit you up, be like, "Hey, Jerry, I come back. I want you to get the article up on the Barstool." But no, like I think he would probably tell you, and you'd get a big article and get all the interactions and whatnot. But he would probably then tell his dad, and he'd tell Pedro. And so it's like that's why I keep coming back to, and I understand, like we're probably taking this out of context. Because the actual tweet, if you've been living under a friggin' rock, Big Papi is working out. And I know he is in baseball shape, and the Red Sox could use a bit of his bat.
Pedro knows what he's doing.
I don't know why he would do that if there's no hint at all from Papi.
He loves to tickle the balls. He loves it. This is the third, by my count, I believe this is the third time that Pedro has tweeted and like hinted at a David Ortiz return. Like at Winter Weekend, remember? He like tweeted something then where he was like saying, I think he'll actually come back. I don't think he's done. And like, I think he just enjoys the shitstorm that it creates on Twitter. And at this point, like the first one, definitely excited. Second one, I was like, all right. And then the third one, like last night, I was like, I'm just showing up to the party just because I like to party. But I don't actually think he's coming back. Like I don't. Like I think we would know by now. There would be more smoke than just Pedro tweets.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back either. I mean, I like that we have this to kind of play off of, but I really don't think he's coming back. My favorite part, honestly, is that he mixed it in between a bunch of random thoughts. Like Pedro will have some nights, I think it's just nights that he's working on MLB Network, but he'll have some nights where he's just going through random baseball ideas that I think most people probably don't even care about. Like the Samardzija one, he's like, I'm surprised to see Samardzija struggle when I see the kind of stuff he has and what he's capable of doing. And he's talking about Montgomery with the Cubs there, the reliever. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, Big Papi is coming back. I think the Yankees will have a bit of a fight in the AL East. And it's just like, what, Pedro, what the fuck was that? I really like looking at these tweets because he then later tweets that like, I didn't say David is coming back. I said that he's in baseball shape and he's working out. I really don't know if Pedro's doing this to bust everyone's balls. It doesn't feel like that to me.
I mean, I think it is. I think that's what he's doing. I think that he knows the exact reaction that he's going to get. And like, whenever he gets bored, he's just like, you know what? I'm going to drop a Papi return bomb right now. I'm just fucking bored. And he does it. And he does it. And we fall for it every time. But I mean, like, there's a difference between working out to just be in shape and working out to be in baseball shape. So that's where I was like, huh. Because it's not the first time that we've seen that he's working out in his post retirement, because he was posting those videos from fucking Cuck Cycle where he was working out on the little stationary bikes. By the way, I'm not that big of a Soul Cycle hater. I just don't get it. Like, why do you pay somebody $100 to sit on a stationary bike so that they can yell at you and play loud music? Like, why can't you do that in your own house?
It's a nightmare. I've never understood the appeal to it. I did it once, like 5 years ago. And dude, like you go in there and everyone's got their game face on. They're ready to go to war. And I'm like, I thought we were just kind of doing a little cycling, a little casual biking today. Apparently not.
No.
And then the chick walks in
and she's coming right off of like she's coming right from Iraq. She's ready to just run right into you and drive you through a wall. And there's no fun to it. I don't get, and people love it.
Love it.
People live for it. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like they will go to spin classes like fucking 6 times a week, and they'll be like, here, take my fucking hard-earned money so that you can just create something that I can. Like you could pay for a stationary bike in what you would pay for classes in 1 week's time. You can buy your own and just fucking do it at your house and play loud music. Like what are you paying for? Like, are you paying for?
You can't buy that person that's just going to yell at you that you're a useless piece of shit and you got to climb that mountain. You can't pay for that.
You can, trust me, if SoulCycle charges like $50 a class, I'll come to your house and call you a piece of shit for $10. $10.
We should have our own little version of SoulCycle. I don't know what it would be called, but SoulCycle Lite. I don't know. That would probably be a copyright issue, but we'll find out something where we just come to your house, we yell at you, we say that you suck and you're not going to get up this fucking mountain. And then when you do, we're like, well, you still suck, and we have another mountain. We're still going up. And we'll charge half of what SoulCycle charges.
20%. I just don't get it.
So just think about it. I don't either.
Anytime that I ask someone who does the whole SoulCycle thing to justify their decision to be a part of that life, it just every response sounds very cult-like. It's just a brainwash response. SoulCycle can do no wrong. SoulCycle is my life. I need this in my life because SoulCycle is life. That's
the worst part is like when you're actually trying to just have a normal conversation with them and you're an idiot just for bringing up that you think it's kind of a dumb idea. One of my friends from work is really into SoulCycle. I'm like, isn't this it's kind of silly, right? And I use silly just, so I don't use dumb. I don't want to call your thing dumb, but I'm like, it's kind of silly, what you guys are doing. And he's immediately just like, dude, like like we have a great team and we get into it. And like, it's
that's the thing.
Great fun.
It gives them a sense of belonging. Like after college, it's like post sorority, post fraternity life. It's like, you need to feel like you're a part of a team. And it's like, no, I don't give a fuck about that sense of belonging. I exist in the world.
Not to be part of a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rather just like go through the world and kind of just observe stuff and exist than
didn't you know that everything is awesome
cult.
And everything is cool and you're part of a team?
That is true. And that's the reason why I rethought it, because that commercial taught me that if everything is awesome and everything is cool when you're part of a team, then I might want to actually think about doing this.
So maybe we got it wrong. Maybe we should be looking into SoulCycle.
Yeah, we should probably be the instructors and get that going. Yeah. But no, it's a valid, dude. That's a good point, kid. I think everyone does kind of search for that like sense of team and belonging after you've gotten out of that college environment. I didn't even really think about it.
That's big brain stuff, and it's more than just like people need victories in life. You need to be working towards something, and there's more to life than just career and professional victories. It's like I need to set goals for myself, and where do I set those goals? Oh, SoulCycle, yeah, because they fucking applaud them, and it's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult.
It is.
Section 10 podcast we found that Sox Signatures. Sox Signatures is the leader in autographs and game-used memorabilia of tomorrow's Boston baseball stars. Visit SoxSignatures.com today for unique items and the best prices on Sox prospects from Lowell to Boston. Use promo code Section 10 to get 10% off your first order at SoxSignatures.com. Wonder if they have any fucking autographed stationary bicycles by Brandon Workman at SoxSignatures.com. That's a unique item.
That would go for at least a couple hundred. That's like $300, yeah.
Yeah. So
Brandon Workman, by the way, he's been called up like what 4 or 5 times. Has he pitched in a game yet?
Yes.
Did I just miss that? What game? When did he pitch?
It was like the beginning of May. And I didn't see it. And I had this conversation with Merloni. I was like looking at bullpen numbers and I was looking at guy by guy. And I was like, wait a second. Why is Brandon Workman on this list? He's like, oh, he pitched a couple weeks ago. I was like, no, he didn't. Like I watch every single game. Like how I can't miss something like that. Like I would be like, Brandon Workman, wow, I haven't seen him since 2013. But there he was. Apparently he pitched.
That's very strange. Because I asked my dad too, and he watches like all these games. And I'm like, it's going to be crazy when Workman actually comes in. We're going to be like, wow, haven't seen him in a while. So he snuck by everybody. He somehow got through the gates. Good job, Brandon Workman. Good job.
Very sneaky. Very sneaky. Gotta respect it. Great beard, by the way, which is it's not easy to pull off, the Brandon Workman beard. Speaking of pulling things off, Eduardo Rodriguez's kneecap is not agreeing with being a part of Eduardo Rodriguez's body. This is not the first time that this has happened. So that's starting Baltimore. Dude's warming up in the bullpen and just sniper gets him. He's warming up in the bullpen. I don't know how it happened, but he just falls over, rolls around, and I don't know how you feel about this, Steve, and I've written this and I said this, but I admire that he tried to pitch through it, because if there's one thing that I hate about the Eduardo Rodriguez narrative, it's the fans who try to compare him to Clay Buchholz, because he's not Clay Buchholz. I think, Clay Buchholz had that injury where like he fell asleep wrong and like he was like holding his kid or something and he fucking hurt his neck because of the way that he slept. And then that was 2013, which, he was unbelievable in 2013. And he wouldn't come back unless he was 100%. And with Rodriguez, it's like this dude hurt himself tonight and he still tried to pitch. So I give him props for that. I think he would have ended up on the disabled list regardless if he had just not pitched that night. So I don't know if it made it worse or not. I would imagine that it might have, but it sucks because when he went down, he was statistically your second best starting pitcher on the staff.
The timing of it is brutal. Have we found the sniper, by the way? They're not even talking about this investigation. Did we find the sniper yet?
No, he's still on the loose. So if you're living in the Baltimore area, be on the lookout.
All right. Well, that's a big deal too to this, but dude, it sucks. Like I got in and I hate Twitter arguments. They drive me through the fucking wall, but you'll get in them occasionally because I know people that just say moronic things, they have to just be accounted for. But this guy keeps coming at me with the Buchholz thing. And it's like, it's so, to me, it's premature. I think it's too early to compare him to Clay Buchholz and all the weird ass injuries and how Clay needed to feel just right to be on the mound for everything to work, and very similar to JD Drew. I just think that's too early. It's too early to be doing that. Like he kept bringing up like the same old stuff with Erod. It's like he fell on the fucking bullpen mound and hurt his like. I just feel like we're comparing unlike things. It's such a freak random thing that happened. It's not like he was sleeping at home and he woke up. He's like, I'm on the DL. So I think it's too early for that. But I was hearing what you guys were saying on Boston Sports Tonight last night, and so what's the specific issue? Is that his kneecap's like not staying in place, or like what's the actual deal?
Yeah, it's like a dislocated kneecap. That's what happened to him last year.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, but I guess it was just like the way that his body's made. It wasn't like an injury. It was just that's just the way it is. And his fucking knee sucks, and it's always gonna suck until he gets surgery. And it's something that they should have probably surgically repaired this back in November. Because like I said, it's something that he's always going to have to deal with. But like this was an injury that Rodriguez missed 2 months last year because of it. So the timetable right now is 3 to 4 weeks. That's best case scenario. I think John Farrell also. So it's 3 to 4 weeks of rest, not 3 to 4 weeks of upon a return.
No, that's the biggest part. When they recommended that I think it was Dr. James Andrews said you should rest for 3 to 4 weeks, I was like, well, shit. Because that means he's not even going to start. I don't think he starts rehab stuff until at least a month plus from now. We're talking about after the All-Star break. And who knows how long that gets pushed back. This could end up being the Stephen Wright thing from last year, where it's like, damn, like we really needed that guy in that form. And now we're going to lose him for potentially like 2 months. That sucks. And that could really affect these guys. Granted,
like 2 months might be best.
I mean, we'll talk about price. But I know 2 months might be best. It might honestly be, later after the damn summer. But
because you got to think of it this way, right? He's going to do 3 to 4 weeks of just rest, and then he's going to start doing flat ground, and then he's going to start doing long toss, and then he's going to start doing the rehab starts. It's like, how many of those is he going to need? So yeah, I think it's 2 months is best case scenario.
Is there anything worse, by the way? And I feel like we go through this more than other fan bases. There's all these rehab assignments. And, he threw from 50 feet. He threw from 60 feet. He threw from his fucking doorstep. Like, I hate it. I hate the rehab comebacks for pitchers. I never get excited about it. Even with David Price, and obviously great start for him. Like, I can't get riled up about this. And yet everybody loves, especially in the Boston media market, a lot of these guys we've had on the podcast, they'll get the tweet like, breaking, Erod had toast for breakfast. That's what it feels like to me. I really don't care. And we're going to go through that again. Like we haven't had that enough with these pitchers. So that part of it sucks too. This is just, everything is the opposite of awesome with this. This sucks.
Yeah, it's almost like, you look at all these guys that have had their injuries, and every single time that they tell us that they're going to be back in X amount of time, it's always more than that. And I just, it doesn't make sense to me that they just can't figure out. They can't figure out just when these guys are actually going to come back. They're terrible at diagnosing time frames on injuries and the returns. And honestly, Steve, to me, it's a confusing process.
Yeah, it's really confusing. All right, this is where we will pause the show. I was trying to get it. I was like, keep dragging this out. Keep going. I don't have the read. The second that's pretty bad, because that could have easily have been a Red Sox point. The second that sentence started, I'm like, oh, this is the confusing process sentence. All right. Let me fucking find this thing. PD Platinums. SeatGeek intro. Oh man, for a second I thought I got it on the first try. SeatGeek. Updated invoice. It's always a little lower. Updated SeatGeek. It's always a little lower than that. Final audio SeatGeek is an event. SeatGeek provide.
What the fuck is that?
Cut that shit out. We're not doing that. That better not be a thing.
Somebody getting murdered up there?
Yeah, someone's getting killed below me. It's all good. Oh god, I just remembered this fucking Rachel chick I used to deal with. She sucked. Probably worst employee they've ever had. What are you referring to? The SeatGeek chick that we always try to like, here you go, I've sent you all this stuff. She's like, oh, I need this thing. I'm like, I sent it to you. Where is it? I sent it fucking 2 months ago. And then our boy came in and just fucking saved the day. Oh, it's gotta be in here, bro. Sponsorship info. Fuck is this?
Motherfucker.
Smashville. That's awesome.
Oh, this fucking bitch. I'm gonna have Pete send it to me. Hopefully you can do that. Worst case, we can just drop it in after. One word. The fuck is that?
Francis.
Job is tough, I'm full of stress. I weigh too much, my dick's a mess. I killed myself, but I can't waste my Xanax. It really makes no sense to me. You're spelled with X instead of C. You don't have to follow rules. Pop a few and start to drool. Don't get behind the steering wheel. Just have some wine and start to feel as though you're paralyzed from neck to toe. One Xanax.
All right, I'm gonna have Petey send it to me. I can drop it in after.
Wait, how do you not have it? You used to have it.
No, I have no idea where it is. I looked in my inbox for SeatGeek stuff, and it's not in here. Sponsorship info. I'm putting on all this stuff. No, fuck you.
It's right here.
Oh, you got it, kid?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. You got it. Pull it up. It's pinched shut. Fucking spilling water on me and shit.
You're an idiot, Steve.
Oh, I know.
Fuck you,
All right,
Steve.
Let me star that so I don't forget it later. All right, you good, Coffees?
Read it.
Hold up. Fucking Siri. All right. Crank this shit. Can you hear that?
You're clicking, yeah.
No, like a drill.
Kinda.
All right. Ah, yes. Can you fucking... I hope that's not a nightmare. Ah, yes, of course. It is a confusing process. Very similar to buying tickets online. SeatGeek is always the first place that we go to look for tickets to a game or a concert. We have the SeatGeek app on our phones and just used it the other day to get Sox-Yankees tickets in New York, baby. Everything about SeatGeek is designed to make life easier for sports and music fans. SeatGeek does all the price comparison for you by searching multiple ticket sites and ensuring that you get the best possible deal. SeatGeek does all the work, and you save all the time and the money, bitch. SeatGeek wants to help you get the most bang for your buck. That's why every ticket on SeatGeek is given a grade based on value. You'll immediately see any underpriced seats and be able to find the best deals that fit your budget.
Best of all, our listeners get a $20 rebate. I repeat, a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase. By the way, that is like the best thing ever. It is insanely convenient. You just type in that little Section 10 code, and it's boom, $20 off. That was just my own little spiel there. Anyway, to get that $20 off, as I said, download the SeatGeek app, go to the settings tab, and click add a promo code. Enter promo code Section 10. That's all one word, Section, the number 10. SeatGeek will send you $20 after you've made your first ticket purchase. Download the SeatGeek app and enter promo code Section 10 today. Big coupon, bitch.
All right. Well then.
Grinding through the flu game right now. The kid's just grinding.
Grinding. Feel awful. Look awful. Sound awful. Just doing my best. Just doing my best for the team. That's what I do. That's what I bring to the table. Every goddamn day. David Price, is he back? It's a fair question to ask. It's fair. He's 4 starts into his 2017, 2 of which rehab starts. The other 2, major league level. First one, 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Those 3 earned runs all came on one swing. Melky Cabrera took him deep. 2 walks. Preceded the 3-run home run by Cabrera, who, if we're being fair here, is steroid guy. Anyways, in his second start, the Baltimore Orioles, a lot of right-handed bats. David Price, of course, a left-handed pitcher. Adam Jones, Manny Machado, Trumbo. Who else they got? They got other righties in there that they got a lot of righties that can hit home runs. All right, that's the point. David Price,
even Hardy can go deep in that lineup.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he used to have more pop back in the day, but he can still.
He did.
Yeah,
So,
David Price pitches into the 8th inning against Baltimore, gives up the 1 run, which was a solo shot off the bat of Manny Machado. So all things considered, I want to say he threw like 93 pitches or something like that. So he comes out for the 8th inning, strikes out the first guy that he faces, who reaches base because of a pass ball. Thanks a lot, Christian Vasquez, fucking defensive wizard that you are. So he doesn't get the out, comes out of the game. But again, it's the same thing that we were saying the last time, because I think Price threw 88 pitches in his first start, something like that. We were talking about how he definitely would have came out for the 6th inning in his first start at 88 pitches if he were healthy, or not coming back from an injury, rather. I think he is somewhat healthy. But in this second start against Baltimore, the 93 pitches, I think he would have finished that inning. He would have finished the 8, because he strikes out the first guy, obviously still pretty strong. And David Price, more often than not, how many times last year did we see him throw 110, 115, upwards of 120 pitches last year? That's what David Price does. That's what he brings to the table. So this is another one of those, starts where you have to look at the outside circumstances, which is he's still working his way back. He's just doing it on a major league mound, because I think we can all agree that the Red Sox brought him back sooner than I think he probably should have come back. But if he's doing this, Stevie Kid, 7+ innings, 1 run, he's getting victories. I don't know. Do you? I don't know.
Bunk beds up back, kid. All right. So from my perspective, I'm not going to add a lot here, sadly. It's the first game I missed all year. First game I missed is David Price's Saturday start. Yeah, it was a wedding, all right? One of my good friends growing up got married.
Idiot.
And so I was kind of just checking in here and there on game day and just seeing what was going on. I'm like, all right, he looks like he's dealing. And I haven't been that drunk in probably about 10 years. I don't think I've drank that much in about a decade. I tweeted about I know it's the first time ever. I tweeted about Albert Pujols. Apparently, I don't recall doing that. I think I misspelled his name too, so that was fun. But no, from all accounts, I mean, David Price is back, bitch. No, I mean, he looked good. It's big that it came against the Orioles. And I know we said last time out, that's a huge test. That is a huge test. The righty bats that can go deep in that lineup, even guys like Chris Davis. I understand it's lefty-lefty, but, you know, that lineup is stacked. And to do it there on a Saturday night, that's a prime stage. It's encouraging. Like, we really didn't see much of that last year. I understand. I don't think last year was as bad as everybody pegs it to be, but this has so much more value to me coming off of how his season started, where he started, how much time he missed. I didn't know that we were going to see this start that quick. I didn't think we were going to get that this quick out of the gate. I know your spring training thing is valid, where this is essentially like his fourth start down in spring training. So very encouraging to see, and especially with Erod being out for God knows how long, and a huge blessing in disguise. Not even in disguise, just like a huge blessing for this team to get this David Price back in your rotation.
Well, yeah, because it went from David Price is a bonus. You know, thank God we got David Price back because that's going to put them over the top, to now they kind of fucking need this guy. Because Eddie was, again, your number 2 starter, at least based on the numbers. You know, can Rick Porcello come back and have a better second half? Sure. Can he be better? Absolutely. Can Chris Sale be better? I fucking hate to say that, but can Chris Sale be better? Yeah.
That's a valid point, though. Really, though. We're not at the point yet, but watching the last, 3-4 starts, it's like, what's
6
going on here? It's one of those head scratchers. So, well, yeah, 6. He has like a 4.7 ERA. But the last
4.7 in his last 6 starts, a 1.83 in his first 6. And so we were talking about
like
this.
3 or 4. Aren't his last 3 or 4 specifically like the worst of that run?
Yeah, he had. Well, his White Sox start, he gave up 5 earned runs.
Yeah. So
anyway, his last time out, it was like 3 earned runs in 6 innings. So not terrible, but I kind of looked at this situation with Chris Sale. You know, he has the 1.83 over his first 6 starts, the 4.70 ERA over his next 6, and we were talking about this in comparison to David Price's season last year, and I mean, if you look at it this way, if Chris Sale started out in Boston with those first 6 starts where he had a 4.70 ERA, that's his first impression. And Boston is huge on first impressions. So David Price's first 7 starts with the Red Sox, he had a 6.75 ERA, and he could just never recover from that narrative that he was just disappointment. So he throws those first 7 starts, 6.75 ERA. His next 24 starts, he had a 3.07 ERA. That was the 6th best ERA in the American League over that span. So what do we really think about David Price today if he had started out his Red Sox tenure with those 24 consecutive starts where he had the 6th best ERA in the American League? We would have been like, okay, well, he started out great, but then he faded at the end there, and then he obviously had the injury in spring training. So maybe we're talking about how, you know, maybe he was hurt towards the end of last year. That would have made more sense. But instead, comes out of the gate really slow, goes on a great run, and I made this point before about Price that, you know, a good season for a starting pitcher is about 30 starts. David Price threw 24 consecutive starts there. It was 4 months exactly. I think it was May 12th to September 12th. And he had the 6th best ERA in the American League. That's fucking good. That's what you paid him to do. But yeah, so that's why it's interesting with the Chris Sale thing. Started off great, and then now he's kind of had this little run here where I'm not going to say it's bad. It's not bad. It's just it's not what we saw in the first 6. So what might the narrative be if Chris Sale started off slow out of the gate?
No, it's a valid point. It's a valid point. But at the end of the day, though, I think it's somewhere in between those two, because how many starts do we realistically remember from David Price's season last year? And if you're going to get paid like that, if you're going to be the guy, if you're going to be looked at as leading that rotation, you better have a good handful of starts where you're like, oh, he shut that team down and he shut that team down. I remember when he went, oh, that was a great shutout against, you know, a solid lineup. He didn't really have those starts. So while the ERA was good over that stretch, it's still there weren't a lot of like ace-like starts. There weren't a lot of ace-like performances. At least with Chris Sale to start the season, he's had that like, oh, I gotta watch this kind of mentality out of the gate. And it is true that he was like, after his second, third start, I mean, we're watching all of them, but to your normal Red Sox fan, it was becoming must-watch television. You had to see what Chris Sale was doing, in those first handful of starts. And now the last couple times out, it's been a little weird. It's felt a little off. I know he ends up, only giving up 3 earned in his last start in Baltimore, but he had like 35 to 40 pitches in the first inning.
That should have been an run
and fucking Pablo Sandoval, that was ridiculous. That play at third base, man. He's just waiting for the slide to come in. Like, Pablo, there's review now. It's not just the ball beating the guy. You got to fucking go out and tag him. He does so many little things that drive me crazy. And do you sorry, we're getting a little off topic here, but got a lot of tweets about it. Do you blame Marrero, right, for that play at second in the first inning where he wasn't covering the bag?
Yep.
So, and I do too, but it still is tough when you're throwing it to somebody that's not there. I also see that side of it. It's like, just go to first. But either way, I mean, that was a tough start for Sale. And I think it's somewhere in between what you're saying for Price. Out of the gate, and we are huge on first impressions here, almost a little too much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there weren't a lot of like, oh, yeah, I remember that start kind of starts for Price last season.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the one start that he did have like that was against the Braves, and that was when they were barely a major league team. You know, he struck out, I think, 14 guys, but at the time, they were, I think, the worst team in baseball by a pretty large gap. But I don't think anyone is worried about Chris Sale. You know, you look at the splits between the first 6 starts and the last 6 starts. I don't think anyone is like, oh, well, I think this trend's going to continue. No, he's just kind of leveling off a little bit. But, in his career, I think he's like a 3.3 ERA guy. I mean, you weren't going to expect an ERA under 2 for the whole year. And by the way, shout out to Dallas Keuchel, because not only are the Astros the best team in the American League, maybe even all of baseball, Dallas Keuchel has got an ERA under 2. I think he's the only qualified starter in the majors with an ERA under 2. So, shouts to that big bearded son of a bitch.
Dude, the Astros are a force to be reckoned with. They're the first team, I think, through like 60 games to have 40-plus wins or 42-plus wins since the 01 Mariners. Like, they're doing crazy things. That lineup, every time I look at the box score and catch up on the scores for the day, the Astros have put up a casual 13. Yeah, it's just like they have these nights where it's like, oh yeah, we won 15-5, whatever, doesn't really matter. Like they casually kill clubs, and if I'm them, in a weird way, if I was an Astros fan, I'd be like, are we doing too much too soon? Like, are we hitting our stride like too early in the season? As stupid as that sounds, and that's something that like we would debate with the Red Sox if they had this start. Are they too good right now? Like, but still, I mean that's a great start for the season. And that's a force to be reckoned with, man. Dallas Keuchel is back in Cy Young form. He'd be the leader in the clubhouse right now to start the All-Star game for the AL. And you gotta watch out for those guys. That's a legit club in Houston.
Yeah, they I believe they just won their 42nd game after winning their 11th straight. And you look around the league, and there are a lot of division leaders that are like hovering around 30 wins. So they're just above and beyond everyone else right now. Over that streak, they have 5 guys with an OPS over 1,000. So they're just hitting the shit out of the ball. Like, those guys are hitting the absolute shit out of the ball.
Kind of unrelated, but just sticking with the AL West for a second. With Pujols hitting his 600th home run, like, it just reminded me how great like home run chases were growing up.
Yeah. And
the Sosa McGuire thing, and even the Bonds thing. I understand all the steroids and all that, but like, there was nothing in sports as a kid that I really enjoyed more than like a home run chase. And it was just felt like you bringing in all these historic names into the conversation, and everybody's tuning in, and it's must-see television for a team that you otherwise wouldn't care about. So Saturday's kind of a sad moment, right? In a weird way, that it was just kind of like oh yeah, by the way, Albert Pujols hit his 600th. It's in Anaheim, and it just didn't really, I don't know. What are your takeaways from that? Because it just felt like a little side note. Oh, BTW, Pujols hit his 600th.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Sammy Sosa kind of ruined it. Like, his like 600th home run. I didn't give a fuck about his 600th home run. Pujols, it's like, whether you think he's legit or not, I don't really know. I'm not gonna, pound my fist on the table here and proclaim that there's no fucking way that Albert Pujols did steroids at any point in his career. I'm just not going to do that. And
yeah, we don't know. We just don't know.
Nobody knows. And, but again, it's like, how many guys did steroids, right? And how many guys came close to hitting 600 home runs? So even if you do take steroids, it's not fucking easy to do. I mean, you still got to stay healthy. You still got to be talented enough to do it. Yeah, it is still impressive regardless of whether or not you cheated. But the fact that guys did cheat to get to that plateau or that number, it's just, it takes the excitement out of it. It takes the whole, you're watching history. It's like, yeah, we've seen it. I mean, we've seen it a few times. Like, let me know if someone's going to try and challenge Bonds. And even if they do, it's like, you're going to be skeptical of that guy too.
Do you think so? Are we at a point now? And I think I know the answer to this, but are we at the point now for like the rest of our lives? It's just going to be we're going to be skeptical about it all the time, and we're never going to be able to really tune in and be like, oh, let's see if this guy can actually do it. Or do you think it's like a player by player situation?
I mean, tell me who the guy is. Yeah, I guess like if first name that came to my head was like Carlos Correa, and he's obviously not going to be the guy, but just like the body type, like if he ended up challenging the all-time home run record, you'd be like, yeah, that guy did it legit, because just look at him. But you look at a guy like Pujols, he's a big dude, but there is a such thing as a big dude who doesn't take steroids. And I think that, we've just kind of, the casual fan who just doesn't understand how steroids work will just see a muscular guy and be like, oh yeah, he's on steroids. Like, that's just the conclusion. Like, you can get muscular without taking steroids. It is possible. Like, there is a such thing.
You're speaking you speaking out of experience over there?
Yeah, I'm speaking out of experience. There's such thing as getting fucking absolutely jacked and looking like a goddamn professional wrestler without ever taking a needle in your ass.
Let me tell you, there's a way to get other MLB players to say you look more jacked than them, and you don't even have to use performance enhancers.
You don't even have to use steroids. You get this dude over here, motherfuckers, blasting 580-foot home runs. He's like, this guy's fucking stronger than me. This guy's fucking jacked.
You'll be using that line on your deathbed. Remember Travis Shaw? Yeah, you will for sure tell your kids. But
come here, Sonny.
Now, even just thinking
to tell you, if there's one thing that I want to hand down to you, it's really important. Come close, closer. Travis Shaw said that I was jacked.
Anytime you do the old man voice, it's like you're about to take a huge shit. That's basically all I think. You're just about to dump your pants. But so that's a great sight. But anyway, speaking of Houston, a couple weird things happening in Houston. You got Roger Clemens on the Friday game in Houston next Friday. Going to call the game on WEEI. Don't really know why they're doing that, but good for them, I guess. And then our boy, Don Orsillo, is going to call a Red Sox game. I am so excited
for
that.
The Dontourage
best part about it?
What's the best part about it, Steve? What's the best part about it, Steve? Hey, Steve, what's the best part about it, man? What's the best part about it, man? Hey, Steve, tell me that best part.
The best part about it is he can just like call the game neutrally. So there's a chance that we're going to get a swing and a drive. And it's like a real like Orsillo authentic Red Sox call, because last season we got like a little tickle of the balls when he did the, Padres Red Sox series, because he had to act like he didn't want the Red Sox to do well. He had to call the game like, like a road announcer. He couldn't be like, oh, and it's a blast by David Ortiz. But yeah, now he can actually get a little into these, into these calls. If Mookie goes bridge, he can act like he's excited for Mookie. And that is
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts onto the train tracks. Can you believe? Like, I am so excited for that. And like, he must, his reaction, so he tweets it out. And very much like the Pedro tweet, it was kind of just in the middle of the tweet, like it was any old thing. Like like it was just a casual little, like he was doing like a Twins, like Marlins game. And he's like, Saturday, Red Sox, Astros, then the following, like, it's like, whoa, wait, you're doing a Red Sox? Like, and so all of Red Sox Nation literally lost their mind. And that has to be the best feeling for Don. Like, and he deserves all of that. It has to be the best feeling in the world.
Looking at that reaction. It's like, hey, the guy that we go, like, it's basically a fucking parade that he's doing one game. We could have had him for all the games. And we were like, nah.
You could have him for 150. And we're talking about one. And people lose their shit. Like, we talk about, Red Sox Twitter and when it blows up. You don't really see it blow up like that too often.
No.
Just for Don Orsillo saying he's calling, and it's a Saturday night game. I'm sure a lot of people have plans. And I honestly am going to make sure I'm staying in. There's no way I'm doing anything that night. So shout out to Fox for even making this possible. I feel like we're giving like a thank you speech here. Yeah. But like, this is huge, man. And I hope it happens more throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm fucking excited. And that's a good point that you made there, kid, about he can get excited for the Red Sox because he's a neutral broadcaster. Like if fucking Benny hits one, he can get excited for that. And we've never heard an excited Don Orsillo talk about Benintendi. He hasn't been there yet. So I'm just saying. It's gonna be fun. I'm definitely not going out because I never do. No. But if I had plans, I'd cancel. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't be going out anyway. But if you were, then you're staying in regardless. But no, dude, like just the concept, just the idea that Orsillo could get into these calls and really, have that passion behind it just for one night. That's all we like. We're getting this excited for one night. That NESN, like, that should go right up your backside. That people are getting that excited for one game. So,
just a reminder, this game is the 17th. It's the Saturday the 17th, right?
Yeah. Yep, 8:00 in Houston.
Yeah. So. People are tweeting me being like, fuck, like I have tickets to the game. Like I might stay home and just listen to Don.
I know, I saw that. That like, oh man, if you see that, like if you're at NESN, you gotta be like, wow.
Yeah.
Like we knew that people liked him. We didn't know they liked him this much.
Yeah. Like people are willing to not go to the game that they had tickets to so that they can stay home and listen to Don Orsillo call the game on TV. Like NESN, If one of you guys are listening, I know that some of you do, you guys fucked up big time, pal. And I'm not saying that like
you done messed
Dave
up,
O'Brien's
man.
not bad. Dave O'Brien's not bad. I like Dave O'Brien. No. He's good. I'll even say that he's good. But when someone tweeted me, they're like, they thought that I was overdoing the enthusiasm and excitement for Don Orsillo calling a game, being like, "There's no way that you're this excited." And I was like, "Yes, I am." And they're like, well, what's the big difference between O'Brien and Orsillo? And it's like, O'Brien doesn't connect with the fans the way that Don did. Like Don he connected with the fans. O'Brien is just like a broadcasting robot, which is fine if that's what you're into. But, I think Don got the best out of Jerry. Don made Jerry better, and Jerry made Don hilarious. And it was just, it worked. It worked. And I still to this day will never understand why they were ever in the mindset where that was a good idea to break them up. It made no fucking sense. If Don wanted to go, it's like, dude, you fucking earned it. You can go wherever the fuck you want. If you want to go to San Diego and enjoy that nice weather, thank you for all your years. We appreciate you and we'll never forget you. But the fact that they just kicked them out for no fucking reason, I will never in my life ever understand that, ever.
We will always be in shock. He'll always be in shock. And I saw you, tweet about that, and it was a good point, kid. About how, and I hadn't really thought about it until now, but like Dave O'Brien has zero connection with the fans.
Zero.
Like there's like it doesn't exist. Who sees Dave O'Brien is like, hey, OB. No one does. Like so. And that's not saying anything poor about Dave O'Brien. It's just that he goes to work, does his job, and he's good at it. And I think a lot of times it's very formulated. It's like very formatted. It's kind of robotic's not right, but like I don't know. It doesn't have that like It is a robotic, but I don't know. Robotic sounds too much of a, too critical of him because I do think he's good. And people talk about how like him and Jerry don't talk outside the booth. Jerry doesn't really talk with anybody outside the booth. Like obviously, if you watch the games, you know that he just sits in the lobby of the hotel, basically wherever they are, and just like exists until the game starts, and then he goes to the park and then does the same thing and goes back to the hotel. So it's not like Jerry's probably one of the more antisocial people that's ever in the Red Sox booth. So that's not really a big deal. But yeah, Orsillo's gonna be back, man, and just for one night, it's gonna be a great night. Not whatever if you're a Red Sox fan, yeah, go do your plans that night. I promise you, it's not gonna be as exciting as getting yourself a fucking pizza and watching Don Orsillo call the game, in Houston. That's gonna be more exciting. So make the right decision, people.
We got some
Betty Teddy.
Oh, you want to talk about Betty Teddy?
Just real quick, are we just real fast? Are we worried about Betty Teddy? I know he had the struggle there, and then two ding dongs. Sup, baby girl, how you doing? Like, how do we feel about Betty Teddy?
I feel good. Feel good about him. I look at the splits for where he hits in the batting order, and it just made sense to it was a risky move, I guess, to move him up to the number 2 spot because you take a guy that over the 21 games where he was slumping, he was hitting I don't remember the number. I think it was like a $123 with like a 383 OPS or something like that. And over that span, he was statistically the worst hitter in baseball out of everyone who qualified. Like the worst hitter out of everyone. There was like 191 hitters who qualified, and he was the worst. So for John Farrell to be like, all right, he's struggling that bad, let me move him up to the 2 spot. So like that took balls. So I give Farrell credit for doing that. But again, all it takes is looking at the numbers. Like he sucks everywhere else but the 2 spot, which it's hard because you look at these guys in the lineup right now, you have a lot of number 2 hitters. Like Pedroia is a number 2 hitter. Bogarts is a number 2 hitter. Benintendi is a number 2 hitter. So you have a lot of type hitters. But Benintendi, I think he's like a 300 hitter with an OPS of about 800 when he hits second. And it's not even close to that when he hits anywhere else in the lineup. So at least to get him going, that's where I would kind of keep him. But, it kind of begs the question of what do you do with Pedroia when he comes back, because he was hitting second for about 3 weeks before he got hurt. But I guess you just kind of cross that bridge where you get there and hope that Betty Teddy keeps hitting in the number 2 spot, and then you're able to move him other places once he kind of gets his swing back.
Yeah, there's almost too many number 2 hitters in the lineup. There's too many guys that don't necessarily have a home in the lineup when they're all put together. And I know we'll keep talking about Mookie leading off, and I still don't really like it, especially with Xander not really having any, much pop. But I don't know. I think Betty Teddy will be fine. I mean, yeah, like you said, in that stretch, man, he was hitting 123. Really like 1 extra base hit, 5 RBIs, and that was over a 21 game span. So it was really getting to the point where he just looked off. Pitchers knew where to throw him. He couldn't really hit any outside stuff. He's trying to pull outside stuff, and it was in his head, similar to like it was in Jackie's head earlier this season, and he's turned it around a little bit too. So all things considered, I don't really grade these guys. He's turned around a lot of bit. He's been huge, but I don't really grade these guys too hard until we really get to like the middle of June, and I know we're almost there, but once we finally hit this stride here where it gets warmer and everyone's coming up to Fenway, how you doing, baby girl? Home Fridays, how you doing?
Home Fridays.
Then we can really start to grade these guys. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. But you know what we got, Jerry? We got DMs, bitch!
Down the DMs, bitch!
All right. Let me pull these motherfuckers up. If this guy hits that, oh my God, man.
What?
The noises in this city. There are so many noises. There's someone just like nailing away at a fucking. All right. Anyway. First one. And Joey, you knew, Joey. You knew you were going to be the first one. Joey Bruzzo.
Hey, Bruzzo.
Before we start this, Joey, what's the deal, man? Because we love you, you love us. It's about the most mutual love you'll ever find. Hasn't been any voicemails from him in a couple of weeks, and he references it in the DM. So I'll just get to the DM. But Bruzzo, we love you, but we just want to make sure you're okay. Anyway, here we go. Joe Bruzzo, a couple of weeks away from the show, and I started to scratch an itch like a fucking drug addict. Binge listening to the shows I missed today. Honest question, what the fuck would any of us do without this podcast? This right here is the greatest podcast in the world. I miss you guys so much. I love going through this because it's just so real. I fucking love you guys. My decal came in the mail today. Super stoked. Now, how the fuck can I get this thing on a t-shirt ASAP? I'm just going to super glue the decal onto a shirt and wear it around. I love you guys to death. You keep me going.
Bruzzo.
Joe Bruzzo.
Fucking love Bruzzo.
Joe Bruzzo is like we owe everything to Joe Bruzzo.
Day one, ride or die.
But yeah, Joey, just want to hear you in the voicemails, man, because those things are as authentic as they get. Want to hear you. We're gonna bring the voicemails back this Friday. Only if you're calling in, though. Only if you're calling in.
That's how we lift the band.
That's how we lift the band. Also, you guys did a good job with the DMs of just kind of having stories and random shit. So there's not a ton of questions, but like there's just some really good content in here. We had one actually though that I thought was a little interesting, and I thought was, well, this is a pretty easy answer to me. Who got laid earlier in life? Josh Rutledge or Devin Marrero? It's got to be.
Wait, Devin Marrero or who?
Devin, right? Josh Rutledge?
Josh Rutledge is. Have you seen his wife?
No.
She's like a supermodel or something. I know she's a smoke. Everyone talks about her.
Wife is a model?
Hold on.
I'm gonna have to do some research now.
Josh Rutledge wife. Yeah, if you Google Josh Rutledge, Laura Rutledge is a reporter and host for CNN International, ESPN, and the SEC Network. She is an American beauty pageant title holder from St. Petersburg, Florida, who was named Miss Florida 2012.
This is like a top tier looking couple right here. All right, I've completely. What do you got on this? Because this is actually a close race now. Good question, Will. I thought it was a bad one. This is actually a good question, kid.
I'm gonna say Rutledge. I think.
Yeah.
I think Rutledge has. Yeah, I think Rutledge won this one, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm going
Rutledge
Rutledge too.
Stud. Like I'm looking at like this. He's like pictures of him on the beach and shit. He's like all ripped up. Yeah.
Does he just like? I'm sure there are certain guys when you put the uniform on that it actually makes you look worse. Josh Rutledge with like human clothes on, good looking dude.
Great looking dude.
He's wow. All right, this is that's the most surprising part of this podcast. I did not know we were going to find out that Josh Rutledge is a stud. Rutledge, how you doing, kid? Well done. Next one comes in from Evan. Evan, how you doing? He goes, I was at the Red Sox game on 6-3, June 3rd, for those counting at home, when they were in Baltimore. By the way, worst city I've been to.
I like Baltimore
not that
a
bad.
lot.
If you're by the water, it's actually really nice.
Yeah, I like the Haba.
Kid. Anyway, they had the kiss cam in between innings, and they showed a couple, but the dude was drunk and passed out. So a random guy came in and kissed his girl for 5 seconds, and the camera zoomed in on the drunk dude when it was happening. Have you guys ever heard of anything like this? And is it weird that it looked like the girl liked it? So I am always skeptical with the kiss cam stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And I know we don't have the benefit of like seeing how this went down, because a lot of times it's just blatantly obvious that it was all set up. It's like, oh my God, like he kissed this girl and all that. But like, let's just live in a world where this actually happened and it wasn't made up. Like, how insane would that be if the girl was actually down to just like make out with some rando for 5 seconds? I can't see that actually happening, right?
Yeah, and I would assume. I mean, I think it's fake. Obviously, I think it's fake.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, the people that are doing the big board might have been recording a rape, like it's like you can't just like be like, oh, it's a kiss cam, I'm gonna run in and just like fucking make out with this girl that I don't even know. Like if that were a real life situation, like she might have liked it and it's like 10% odds that you get away with it, but there's still a 90% chance that you're going to prison. So
via the kiss cam,
it would be a little weird for the people that were operating the cameras to like zoom in on it and like not embellish it, but like glorify it.
Yeah, from that angle, I think this is fake. And if it was real, that's really weird that the girl would be into that and that the drunk boyfriend is passed out, and I don't know. We've all seen a lot of weird shit, but that would be pretty strange, especially on the kiss cam. Next one, we're gonna stay with the the weird vibe. Friday night, the Orioles game is on TV, and I'm with my girl. Things get hot and heavy, clothes fall off, and all of a sudden, we're sexing it up.
Oh,
I look up at the TV. Yeah, you're like, oh, I know what that feels like. I look up at the TV.
I know what this guy's talking about. You talking about sex right now?
Oh, wait, is this guy talking about sex right now? I've totally done that.
I've done that.
I'm going to get through this at some point. I look up at the TV just as Mookie makes the diving catch, and I yell, fuck yeah, Mookie. My girl stops mid-sex and asks, who's Mookie, as if it's some other girl. After a little explaining, the mood is killed, and I got blue balls. Thank you, Mookie Betts. This one I actually believe. I actually think that happened, and that's realistic if the game's on in the background. Also, that catch was very much like a fuck yeah kind of catch, like a oh shit, like that. When I kind of leaned up when Mookie made that catch. That was a very impressive catch. So I totally get why even mid sexing it up with your baby girl, why you would say that for that catch. So. Not even really a question here, just kind of like, thought it was a good story, thought it was a good take. And
you ever do that, Steve? You ever do that?
All the time, man.
You ever like having sex but paying attention to something else on the TV?
Oh, well, every time.
Every time?
Every time. No, not every time. No, that's happened, but it's more, it's the same as this kid. It would be the Red Sox. If the Sox game is going on, what, you're going to act like you haven't?
No, I definitely have. Of course.
But you can't yell like the players, like don't.
No, I would never be like, oh, Mookie. Like, who does that? No,
oh.
I mean, that's weird to, I guess, yell the guy's player's name. It's like, you don't know, like, that's weird. Like, you can be excited about the play, but it's like to yell their name is a little excessive of a celebration. Because I feel like you would you yell their name if you weren't having sex? Maybe. Maybe.
But even then it would be, maybe, but it would still be a little bit strange.
Yeah.
I really hope that she actually did go like, who's Mookie? Also, like, we keep going back to Mookie being like a name for certain things. I don't think Mookie's much of a girl's name.
No, it's not.
So I don't think she's got bigger fish to fry if this guy's yelling out a guy's name. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, good for you, Seymour. I didn't even mention your name, but hey, Seymour, how you doing, kid? Next one comes in from Bree. Bree, how you doing, baby girl?
Hey, Bree, what's up, girl?
She goes, what do you guys think Chris Sale's walk-up song would be if this were the NL and he had to hit at Fenway? I imagine it being something a little scary. It's a good question. I mean, it's got to be. I could see it just being some kind of like heavy.
Yeah, it would probably be
metal
like
kind of stuff.
Let the Bodies Hit the Floor by Drowning Pool. Like, I could easily see
that's a pretty good
his walk-up song.
Yeah, I could see that too. That's a pretty solid one. I know we've talked a lot about walk-up songs, so I'll keep it rolling. But Brie, I like it. How you doing? This one comes in from Ian. Ian is a long-time listener. Listener. He's a very loyal supporter. I was at Fenway for Chris Sale's first start. Two fucked up things happened. One, I saw a dude in a Tim Tebow's Columbia Fireflies jersey. That you should have put him in the bathroom immediately. That's a terrible look. Two, when I was walking down the street after the game back towards the car, I saw this dude run up and steal a shirt from one of the vendors that set up outside of Fenway. The vendor chased him down and squared up to fight the guy. The thief ended up being as ripped as Hanley, and when the vendor saw that, he booked it the opposite direction. That's a story. I mean, I don't like you're stealing one of those shirts is a weird. Those are cheap shirts, right? Those are like $5 to $10. Like, come on, man. Just buy the damn shirt, Hanley looking guy. That seems a little crazy to me. But anyway, good story, Ian. I like it. Good stuff, as always. This is from Travis. Brings up a valid point here. He goes, been looking for a good podcast to cover the Sox since they don't show many games down here in Kentucky. Keep up the good shit, boys. I wanted to know how fans from Boston feel about out-of-town fans who didn't grow up locally. In my case, grew up in Kentucky, loving Manny, and they were the closest team to me that I cared about. The Reds are near here, but no one cares about the Reds. I decided growing up I would be a Red Sox fan. Is this a weird move? What do you guys think?
So hold on,
I hear this a lot, actually. Okay, go.
I think I want to say I've given my take on this to an extent before about how I don't like fans that do like the mixed bag, like be all in or be all out, like be a Boston sports fan or don't. So like I know people that is like, yeah, like I'm a Lakers, Yankees, Cowboys, fucking, Blackhawks fan. It's like, all right. No, like it doesn't work like that. Like that's weird. That's weird. But if you're a baseball fan and you don't live in Boston and you love the Red Sox and you've stuck with them and you're not bouncing around to different teams, then yeah, like I have no problem with Red Sox fans that don't live in Boston. There's a shitload of Red Sox fans that don't live in Boston that are diehard Red Sox fans. Like even if you did discover the Red Sox during like a championship season, I don't have a problem with that either. It's like when are you gonna fall in love with like the Red Sox? You'd be like, yeah. So in 2012, when the Red Sox were dog shit and Bobby Valentini was like doing all this shit and just making fun of everyone and pissing everybody off, I knew that this was my team. I just knew it right during spring training when he was talking to Mike Avilas and he was just calling him a fucking idiot for not calling for a fly ball. I knew that this was going to be my team. Like no one's doing
especially with Jared Salter like Gabaguzzi on that team. With Gabaguzzi, they were actually due to have a World Series the following season, and I knew it in 2012. I knew they would win the next year. It is a valid point. Like if we're gonna start picking everybody out and say, when did you become a fan and where are you from and why are you, like, let's just all be fans of the team. I mean, as it is, like being a fan of sports teams and caring this much is crazy. So we're already in this weird group of people. So let's just let people in. Who cares? I really don't care where you come from. If you're a fan of the team, I don't care. Like if you support the team, you support the team. The thing I do care about is if you support the team when they're good, and then when they're not, you're like, oh, but I have this other team. And I'm like, no. Pick a team, stick with a team. I have a couple people I work with that are like, oh, I'm a Giants fan, but I'm also like an A's fan, and I'm also like a blah, blah, blah. No. Pick a team. I don't care if like your cousin's nephew's dog's brother is on the fucking Dodgers. Just pick a team and stick with it, all right? I don't need your excuses for why you support these other teams as well. Just pick one team, stick with it. I don't really have an issue with our boy here. So, keep being a fan, and thanks for the DM, kid. Next one comes in from Eric. We got two left here. Eric, this is actually pretty good. He goes, met up with a Tinder girl for a first date. Figured a Red Sox game is a pretty good play. Let me stop you right there, Eric. That was a bad idea. Anyway, turns out she was pretty nasty in comparison to her picks. Shook it off and tried to enjoy the game. Ended up being a pretty good time. She asked to get drinks after, and I ultimately ended up hooking up with her out of respect. Was it the right move? Is a Sox game too risky for a first date? Am I just a great human being? All input appreciated. Eric, I don't love that you did this. One of my buddies did the same exact thing like 3-4 years ago. It was like a Tinder date. It was the first one. It was at Fenway Park. It didn't go well. Too much is on the line, and it's just like there's too much that you need to confirm with that other person that you need to like set as a base before you go to the game that early. The game should be like third or fourth, maybe fifth date. Like that early is a little too early. But yeah, what are your takes on this?
So I don't know that like I can really speak to this now. Like I know that it would be a nightmare to go on a date with me at Fenway. Like that, it would just not be enjoyable whatsoever. But I would say
I've done it before. Don't do it, people. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea. And I'm trying to think back to like, I don't know. It depends on the girl. Like, is she even interested in the Red Sox? Because like, I guess like I went on a date to Fenway, but like she wasn't into the Red Sox. But it's like I'm trying to watch the fucking game. She's trying to get to know me, and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, let's get to know each other after the game. Like, we'll get drinks after and we'll talk. But like right now, I'm fucking watching the game. Like, why would you come here of all places with me on a first date? So. Yeah, it's just it's almost the same as it's not the same as the movies, but kind of the same idea because a first date at the movies is the fucking worst idea of all time because you can't talk to each other. Like You're
But
sitting next
I
to
think
a
people
stranger.
know that. People should know that. People should know that by now. The movie's move is like it forever has been the worst first date you could do. So if you don't know that by now, then like that's on you.
Yeah.
But the Red Sox game, I think it's actually a legit question for a lot of people. Like, is it not the first date, but is it like a bad
If you
move to
don't
do
care about
early
the
in
Red
dating?
Sox, it's not a bad first date.
But I'm guessing if you listen to this, you do. So
Right.
it's a weird move if you're a Red Sox fan and you're like a diehard and you're bringing her to the game. And I know that Eric, I think I know what you're trying to do. I think he's trying to have everything meet in one spot. He wants this girl to be a really good match for him. He wants him to show off what one of his favorite things is, which is the Red Sox. And he also hopes that she really likes the Red Sox too, and that everything it's like a one-stop shop. And it was never going to work like that. So I just thought that was an unrealistic approach. Congrats on the sex. Good for you. But
Yeah, for sure.
it's a tough move, man. That's a tough move for the first date. I would save that till at least third or fourth. You gotta know the person a little bit more before you're doing that stuff.
Yeah.
The last one also comes in from Eric. Another Eric. How you doing?
Hey, Eric.
He goes, "Hey guys, based off of Justin Bieber's tweets yesterday, do you have an issue with people wearing jerseys from teams they don't root for? Always had no problem with it, but apparently it's a big deal." So if anybody missed Bieber's tweet, basically the tweet that blew up was, "I support all sports. I'll put any jersey from any pro team on my back. If I'm whack for wearing jerseys they give me out of love, then I'm whack." And naturally, when Bieber's tweeting about sports jerseys or just tweeting about anything, it's going to blow up. So what was your takeaway on this? Because I definitely had some pretty specific thoughts.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. Like I have plenty of non-Red Sox jerseys. Like RDT, the Barstool Orioles blogger, likes to tweet out a picture of me wearing an Orioles jersey anytime that he gets in an argument with me because that's his only fucking trump card. But it's a Cal Ripken Jr. jersey, and he was one of my favorite players growing up. I actually have like 2 or 3 Ripken jerseys. So if he wants another one, I'll send him another one. I have a fucking Roberto Clemente Pirates jersey. I have like 2 Josh Hamilton Rangers jerseys. I have a Ricky Henderson A's jersey. I have the Pedro Mets jersey. I have a shitload of non-Red Sox jerseys. I haven't worn a jersey in probably 5 years, but yeah, I mean, there was a time where like I wore jerseys all the time, and as a diehard Red Sox fan, I didn't give a fuck if I wore another team's jersey. I'm not supporting the team. I'm just being like, yeah, I like this player a lot.
It is tough because at face value, when you see someone else in a jersey of a team, you expect that they're a fan of that team. That kind of just comes with the program. But and I know Pete would probably lose his mind over it. He'd have some crazy take, and he'd probably talk about this for about 3 hours. But I have a Tony Gwynn jersey, and I have a fair amount of jerseys. I'm obviously a huge Griffey guy, so I wear my Griffey jersey a lot. And the reaction is always kind of mixed. They're always like, "Oh, I thought you were Red Sox." I don't like having to explain it. I don't like that. And I think that's why Bieber finally tweeted this stuff, because he's sick of like every time he has a jersey on, everybody losing their friggin' mind. So I understand the hesitation when you're a diehard fan of, say, the Red Sox, and you're wearing a different team's jersey. I totally get that. But at the end of the day, like, who really cares? Jerseys are a great item to wear, great summer item too. And you want to match them with certain stuff that you're wearing. You want to look fly this summer. I don't blame you for a second for wearing a jersey that is not the team that you root for. But people love jumping down. I don't know why. Everyone loses their mind.
Well, I guess
when you have a jersey that like isn't your team.
If you're a Red Sox fan, you can't just be like, I respect Derek Jeter a lot, so I got this Derek Jeter jersey. Like
okay. There are boundaries, and I think we all know that that's one of them. But if I'm rocking like a Tony Gwynn jersey or a Ken Griffey Jr., like, don't get on my case. There've been a couple people, I thought you were a suck. Like, just shut up. These are some of my favorite players of all time. I can wear this jersey. If you had a Ripken, I wouldn't bat an eye at it. It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
It is not strange. So, Eric, you're in the clear, kid. Wear whatever damn jersey you want. Yeah. And that'll do it for down DMs. I know we had a lot, and we're going to save some for later on. We asked for DMs. You guys gave us like 60. So shout out to you guys. You guys keep impressing us. Good shit, Murray.
True. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. Get those motherfucking DMs up in this shit. Yeah.
Bitch.
Also, RDT can get in the fucking bathroom for fucking tweeting that picture all the time. Is Jack Krause an Orioles fan?
He used to be an Orioles fan. Look at this picture of him wearing an Orioles jersey. Yeah.
He's such a weasel, man. Like
He's a
I don't
weasel.
even know how you deal with that text chain. He's just a
He's
weasel.
He's a little
Like,
rat. RDT, that little rat fuck.
Yeah, he used to be an Orioles fan. Did you know that? He's a bandwagon jumper. When the Orioles were good and the Red Sox were bad, he was wearing Orioles jerseys.
Really?
what's his Twitter handle? We should have everyone just send him "you rat fuck." Just send him some kind of phrase this week.
Please send hashtag rat fuck to, I think it's Barstool RDT.
Yep. Hashtag rat fuck. Send it on over.
Get in the bathroom, RDT. Say what's up to PD Apes. I want to say thanks to our producer, Steve Peralt. You can check him out on Twitter at Steve_Peralt. You can follow the show on Twitter at Section 10 Pod. Flu game. The archive for the Section 10 podcast can be found at section10podcast.com. Subscribe on iTunes and rate the show. If you subscribe on iTunes, you'll get the show the second it comes out. If you rate the show, you'll be eligible for the review of the week. Tell a friend, please. Helps us grow the show. If you know a Red Sox fan, maybe they don't listen. Be like, hey, fuck's wrong with you, man? Let me see that smartphone. Let me subscribe on iTunes for a bitch. And then you do it for them. You like that? I love it. I love it. I love it. You can check out our sponsor, Sox Signatures, at soxsignatures.com. Use the promo code Section10 to get 10% off of your first order. Also, download the SeatGeek app. And when you do, you use the promo code Section10 and you get a $20 rebate off of your first purchase. That's all from us. We'll try to be better about the guest thing. This is our first swing and a miss. I mean, you know what? We do our best. You know, if people bail, people bail. That's not on us. We do our best. We try to deliver for you.
This is it's gonna happen. This is gonna happen in some situations. I mean, preferably one guest a week, but just it's gonna happen. We might have to shake the schedule up, but just hang with us, folks.
Yeah, we're doing our best out here. We're doing our best. So enjoy.
Support the troops.
It's for the troops.
Oh, it's a good performance out of you. Good performance. That was a good flu game. It's a good flu game number 10. I was impressed. It sounded a lot like that on a handful of times, like you were going to hack up a lung, but made it through.
Doing my best. My fucking head hurts so bad.
Take some pills, kid. So what was that tweet about? What was that little high school girl tweet about? You're like, I get sick a lot and I can't fix it.
Wait, what?
It was like last week when you're like, this is that time of year where like I get sick and like medicine doesn't work and wah.
Yeah, I thought it was the flu, but I mean, not the flu. I thought it was allergies, but I'm sick. I think. I don't know. I guess. I can never fucking
Might be
tell.
dying, man. This might be it.
I could be dead. I thought for sure it was allergies because I was all stuffy.
Hmm.
And everyone else is talking
Hey,
about how
just
bad.
just make it to episode 100, man. We got to get you through that big 100.
For sure.
All right, I'm gonna send this to PD Kid. Oh gosh.